Hey everybody, let me get my window set up here so we can start our little chat. Let me know in the chat box if you can see me and hear me just fine. All right, I know there's a little bit of a delay usually. Let's see if anybody can see me and hear me. Anybody? Anybody out there? Okay, it shows me I'm on. Oh, okay, I see it coming on now. Hey! I'm going to apologize now for the trolls and some vulgar comments that I'm sure people are going to jump on. That's what happens when you have so many subscribers on YouTube. But if anything comes up that obviously has nothing to do with me, sewing, crafting, and things like that, you can just click, I think, the 3 dots next to somebody's name. And then you can like block them, report them, remove them. Or I think I can remove them and block them. But that way I don't have to be taking up too much time away from the chat box here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't see where I can... Okay, great. Perfect. Hi, everybody. Hey, Miss Sheila. Let's see. See me and hear me. Can y'all hear me good? Or are you guys getting an echo? Ooh, Sarah, you like my eyebrows. The Persian girl I go to threads them. And she loves thick eyebrows. So I'm like, so do I. Perfect. Okay. Okay, good. Looks like y'all can hear me and see me. Hey, Laura. Hey, Janice. Ooh, London. Elena from London. Hey, everybody. Go ahead and let us know in the chat box where you're joining us from. Alaska. Holy cow. I'm sure you're freezing right about now. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about machine embroidery, maybe. I'm just going to show y'all some projects. Even if you don't embroider, these are so cute. If you've been following along with my introductory kind of video tutorials to machine embroidery, you probably have seen some different projects that we've made, like freestanding lace, stitching out just a regular design right onto whatever fabric you want to use. But OMG, if you've never seen an in the hoop project, this is like seriously mind-blowing. And more, I think, for me, because I sew garments, I sew quilts. So if you dabble in multiple different kind of crafts and things where you're using fabric, you know that we build up a stash of a variety of different textiles. So whether it be stretch knit or like fuzzy blankety kind of cuddle fleece fabric, regular like garment fleece fabric, quilting cottons, when you end up with little scraps, it's kind of like, what do I do with them? I hate to throw them out, but then it's like I end up with another whole stash just of scraps that you have to sort either by color or whatever. Well, if you have an embroidery machine, in the hoop projects is exactly what you need to use those little scraps in, because you can use little teensy scraps. So let me show you. Actually, I have one on here that you probably can't see that's still stitching out, but these are 2 in the hoop projects and they probably look like nothing. But this is one that my daughter and I stitched out a couple weeks ago. It's just a little egg. Do you see this? And this is stretch knit. This is a fabric that's a stretchy garment knit fabric. When you pop, you open them up like the old school, like popples. You know, they're called peekaboos. Oh my gosh, my daughter picked out all the fabrics. Look at this kitty, you guys. And so if I flip this part back, and this one, it moved on us a little bit because this was our first time and they're kind of small. This was done in a 4x4 hoop. So if you have an entry-level embroidery machine or like an entry-level sewing and embroidery machine, you can do this in a little hoop. So my friend Anne at A Creative Medley, who actually I found out about through my friend Jeanette. Is Jeanette on here? Jeanette from Wisconsin. She told me about her. She was like, hey, a few years ago, she was like, have you seen these in the hoop projects? And I was like, there's no way that this little thing pops open into a ton of different animals. She has, I don't know, hundreds of these little things on there. My daughter wanted the kitty, so we did this one. Super cute. And so I've been working on the bunny one, and she's actually running a sale. She's joined together with a bunch of other machine embroidery digitizers or something, and they're running like a Valentine's Day sale. I've included the link. Remember, anything that I talk about in my live chats, I have a link right underneath the video with a link on where you can go to it'll send you to my website, and that is like a full list of everything that I'm talking about. the handbags that we're going to talk about, these designs, the coupon codes, how you can take advantage of her sale, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, check this out. So this is a stretch knit that I got from, I think, Girl Charlie a couple years ago at some event. So this was like fabric to make my daughter something, right? Well, I just used a couple of scrap pieces. And you can see I still have the hole there because I'm going to stuff this. But let me show you. Oh my God, this is like so cute. Look how cute. They're called peekaboos. So this is the peekaboo kitty. And then this is the peekaboo bunny. And notice the size difference. I made this one in the 5x7 hoop. So I actually wanted to make this one on this. This is the Brother PE770. It's it's a standalone embroidery machine that I recommend and I suggest for beginners. And I stitched this one out on here. Because a lot of times people think, well, you know, I only have this whatever entry-level machine. But it does do 5x7 hoops, so you can make it bigger than just the little one. Where did that little guy go? It probably disappeared. It rolled off somewhere. Oh, Lord. But look how nicely this stitched out. Okay, I haven't stuffed it yet, but you can see, look at that. On this machine, I included a link to this in the description box where I link you to my site, and it has there the link of the machine that I recommend, which is this one. And actually, this week, I saw that it dropped 50 more bucks on Amazon. So I think it's like $549 right now, which is a steal, okay? Look at this. If y'all have Easter coming up and you need to make gifts, or if you have a craft fair and you want to sell these, OMG. Notice, does anybody spot the fabric that I used in there? Who can tell me where that print is from? Look, oh my gosh, seriously. My husband was like, but is it fabric or is it thread? And I'm like, okay, dude, anything that's shiny is the thread and the rest is the fabric. And this was Cuddle Fleece. And so I see that someone mentioned here that they tried to do an in the hoop project, but the layers were too bulky. So for this project, I know I have found out, obviously, from trying it and from what my friend Anne, the designer of these designs, told me. She has a when you buy any of her in the hoop peekaboos, these guys, it comes with a document that says fabric recommendations, and so you can open it up and they tell you which ones they recommend. But I have found that instead of using the same kind of fuzzy Cuddle fabric for the back and the pocket, because there's like 6 layers of this in some parts. The stretch knit works great. You don't want to use like a quilting cotton because it's not going to stretch. So actually with you guys on here, I wanted to show you the finished thing. So it ends up, and this is crazy because it's like, my husband's like, well, it looked like you sewed it. I'm like, I did, but the machine sews it. So like the parts where you have to construct and put in the arms and the ears, it stitches out a placement line like do 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 do. And then it stops and it tells you, okay, that's where, you know, you have to put the little paw on it, you know, like backwards, pretty sides touching like you would do with sewing. And then it goes back in the same spot. It tacks it down. Da, 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 da. And it's like if you sewed with a 1/4-inch seam allowance or something, you know, like it just holds it down. And then you do the other one and you do the little ear and you do the little ear. And then at the end, when it stitches all the layers together to kind of seal it up, it leaves you this open, okay? So we're going to grab some polyfill here just so you can see. And of course, the pattern does say to just stuff it lightly. So I'm just going to grab some there. But I do find that the stretch knit, because it is lightweight, and you can, this is, I mean, if you go to your local fabric stores and buy remnants, you know, when you have like these cute fabrics, but they're like not enough to make a top or garment, not even for kids. Like if it's just a little chunk, a little remnant piece, legit. So definitely check that out. Lenore says Dominicana. That's right. That's one of my little palm prints from my collection. So you see, there's kind of this mixing and matching of fibers when you're sewing these type of projects, because we have the Cuddle fleece, right, for the white and the back of the ears, which is a fuzzy pink. We have, we said jersey knit, stretch knit for that. And then for the inside of the ears and the inside of the paws here was just quilting cottons. And you can, I mean, how big is that piece? You can literally just have like a little rectangle that's a little bit bigger than that. And you put it on, it tacks it down, you remove it, you trim around, and then it just seals it in place with the satin stitches. So scraps for days. All right, so I'm stuffing it. It's just like a little egg. My son picked out the shark one that he wants me to do. So I already got that one, and I printed out the instructions. Because, you know, the different animals have different ears and kind of different things. So you get the downloadable PDF with whichever animal. There's like unicorn. There's funky stuff like hippos and dinosaurs and monsters and what else? Bulldogs or something. It's like a bunch of crazy different little things. Whose birthday is it out there? Happy birthday, M. Gilbert. All right. So I just stuffed it. I think that's enough. And this is another reason I like the stretch fabric, because I feel like it can stretch over even whatever little bulk you decide to add to it. So let's flip it back. And I just threaded a needle here. And I'll chit-chat with you guys for a little bit while I stitch this shut. I just put a little light lavender color, and it's a little hole. You just pinch it together and just whip stitch it shut. You know, not a big deal. After the machine does the hard work, you know, stitching everything up. All right, let me see if I can answer some questions. Let me scoot this over so I can see the chat. So cute. My embroidery machine is a Genome. Will it work for? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this is a great question that I often get from beginners. This is Roxanne asking. If you have an embroidery machine, it doesn't matter what make, model it is. So when you download the patterns from Anne's site after you get them, it's kind of insane how big the folder is. It comes compressed, and then in there, the one that I stitched out is, I can't show you right now, but it's the satin stitch. You saw how it was like all this heavy stitching around the paw prints and the ears? So she has ones, obviously, the denser the stitching on it, the longer it's going to take to stitch out. So if you got to make a dozen of these for your grandkids or something, I probably wouldn't go with that one just because it's a lot of thread and a lot of time that it's going to take extra. So she has, I think, like 2 other options, like a light option, which is like not as dense in the satin stitching. It's still going to look the same animal. It's just how dense the stitching is around certain kind of accent points, right? Around the ear top and around the paw prints and filling in every single one of those little paws. And so then there's a vintage one that I think it's like more open space. I chose the satin one just because I saw that on the bunny one. She recently updated that design because these are a couple years old. And so she updated it to include the satin. And I know that that's the one that takes the longest. So I decided, well, let me try it out and see. All right. So Ashley's asking, will I do a tutorial for these peekaboos? So I will tell you, like at the beginning, the first time you do one and you're going, first of all, her PDF has pictures and instructions on it. So the first time you do it, especially if you've never done an in the hoop project before, you're not really going to know like what's the next step or where you're going with that and kind of anticipating like how it comes together. So the first one will probably take you a couple of hours to just like wrap your head around what exactly is happening with the sewing machine, with the embroidery machine, creating something and sewing together a project, you know? It's kind of weird at first because you're like, how in the world? But it tells you like how to lay the different things on there, face up, face down. Like it's the entire construction of this. I don't want people to think that like it's stitching out the individual components and then you got to put it together. No, the machine, the embroidery machine itself is going to stitch everything. There's 2 hoopings. So the first time you hoop it, you make the ears and the arms. And then you take that off. And then you do that with tearaway stabilizer in the hoop. And then the second hooping is like building the body and where you're going to finish it off, where you do the face and stuff. And that one, because that one has the dense stitching of the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and all those satin stitches, that one she recommends a cutaway stabilizer. Okay? Deborah says maybe it's time to finally get an embroidery machine. So let me tell you. 9-10 years ago, I had an embroidery machine. I did a couple thingies, you know, like when I was pregnant with my son, I embroidered little teddy bears on burp cloths, whatever. It was the only machine that I had at the time. And so like when I was embroidering something, I was just like sitting there staring at it. I didn't have another machine where I could be working on a different project. So I was like, I'm over it. I sold it, traded it in for just a sewing machine because I was like, I'm not into this embroidery thing. I think in the hoop projects are a total game changer. Like, okay, you can use an embroidery machine to like embellish your projects, make some fabric napkins, stitch out some really cute things on it. But like when you can entirely create a project inside the embroidery machine, like this comes out, my husband's like, wait, but like it looks sewn. So like you sewed. I'm like, nope, the machine sewed it for me. You just have to know where to place the things. And it's fun because it's almost like you just get to like, let's see, which thread do I want for the eyes? I think I want this little guy to have some brown eyes. I think I want his mouth to be a little coral color. And so it's like you can be working on other stuff and just like choosing cute fabrics and threads and let the machine stitch it out for you. Let's see. Carla Lisa. We got some party animals up in here. All these girls are going to a QuiltCon next week in Savannah. For those that don't know what QuiltCon is, it's basically the kind of national/international conference for the Modern Quilt Guild, and it's in Savannah this year. Luckily for me, Savannah is only a 3-hour drive, so I am definitely going to head out over there, and we're meeting up with a bunch of my quilt club members, people that have been to my retreats in the past, so it should be definitely a good time. So if anybody lives near the Savannah, Georgia area, check out QuiltCon. It's, what days is it, Lord? Thursday, Friday, Saturday? It's this week coming up, like February 23rd to the 26th. Don't quote me on that. It's this week. I know that I got to leave here Wednesday or Thursday. Just do a search for QuiltCon, C-O-N, on Google, and it'll pop right up for you. And I'm just about done. Let me tie a little knot here. So Francis wants to know about the sewing coop. So the sewing coop, for those that don't know, if you live in Florida, you may want to check us out. I'm opening up a new sewing studio in Gainesville, Florida, where I'm going to be teaching classes. So like it's not going to be open all the time. I think a lot of people think that this is going to be like a quilt shop. Like, no. So it's just another business venture of mine. And it's just a way for me to kind of teach more in-person classes. Doing retreats this past couple of years have been a huge hit. All right, so I'll show you. I just whip stitched that close real quick. How cute! Seriously, people, this is like, forget it. Amazing. So yeah, Laura says it's Thursday to Sunday. I was right. So thanks, Pat, for the dates. February 23rd to the 26th. Seriously? Come on, guys. Come on. So, the kids can hide them. Put your little popples in there. Like the popples. I'm sure that's a trademark name. But these are called peekaboos by my friend Ann at A Creative Medley. So look, they just throw it in their backpack. My daughter had the little one. I literally had to ask her for permission. Like, can I show it? She's going to be upset if I lost that little kitty for sure. But anyways, that's so you all can see. Oh, so let me show you, because I have another one going on my Baby Lock Spirit here. This was from the first hooping. These are the two little hands, and these are the two ears. And then I have this little guy in here. It's like a light blue fabric, so I'm doing a different one. But you can see how these two are from the first hooping. So like after this is done doing what it needs to do, it'll stitch out placement lines where I need to put these on it. And the whole thing will finish being stitched out in the second hooping of the actual project. So I think this was super cute, and I wanted to show you all, especially those of you beginners out there thinking, oh, my machine can't do that, blah, blah, blah. This one in a 5x7 size, and I showed, seriously, where is that? Oh my gosh, it's like all the way down here. Hold on. Oh, my light, my big bun, I keep hitting things. So this is the size difference. This one in the 4x4 hoop. And all the animals come in a variety of sizes. I want to say like 6x10, 7x12. So if you have a fancier machine like this, even with a bigger hoop than mine comes with, you can make a super big one, like a stuffy, like a big stuffed animal. Oh, Melanie, that sucks. She says that this machine is $1,100 on Amazon Canada. Right now in the US it's $549. Might be worth it to get somebody to buy it for you and ship it. Let's see. Oh, Pat says she can't seem to get stuff done on her machine. She can't even download monograms and designs. What kind of machine do you have? You should not have a problem. I mean, as long as you have, the correct format that you need. Hey, Jane from the DC area. Oh my gosh, seriously, I'm like in love with these little things. So check them out. I included the link in the description box below. She has a sale that ends tomorrow. So I know it's kind of last minute, but definitely check it out. And of course, these are digital designs. So remember, once you buy it and you have it, just save it, If I do tutorials, I may do an online class. I'm not sure yet because there's a lot of steps. So I definitely want to do something where I can go super duper step by step. Especially for the beginners and the newbies. But hello, to make for gifts and sell. Oh, look at this little guy. Look at him. Ah! So cute. Okay. My husband, the first time he saw this, he doesn't know what in the hoop is. He's like, but it looks like store-bought. I'm like, yeah, it's embroidery, dude. It stitches it out. And it's like, oh, but how did it do the ear? It's in the hoop. The machine does it. All right, so let's talk about next. Those of you that are into handbag making, I posted this past week a free pattern tutorial. This thing has been downloaded like 1,500 times. I'm guessing it's a hit. It's a super easy bag. My Gracie saddle bag, this is the one I make in the tutorial. You can see the flap here is quilted. And then I had a sample that I had done before where the flap wasn't quilted. So either way, if you don't want to kind of draw out the lines and quilt it yourself, but a great, great project to kind of try your hands at a few other things like piping. I share with you my foolproof way for inserting piping here to where like if you flip it back, you don't see any of the basting stitches. I hate when that happens. And so I teach you how I do it with a glue basting technique. Super cool. And then on this one, I use the little Platanos fabric from my collection. But it's a simple project. I show you how to insert a magnetic snap if you've never done that before. Once you do it on something simple like this, it's nothing. You'll be able to add it to any project you need. And then we do the adjustable strap, which I think is really great to know how to make, because if you give it as a gift, I mean, unless you really know the person, it's hard to gauge. Do they like just shoulder bags? Do they like crossbody bags, right? And so you can adjust it either way. So this is more for over the shoulder. I'm personally more of a crossbody girl. So you can see how long the strap is, and you can just throw it over crossbody and write it on your hip like that, okay? So I sent out an email in my newsletter today, and I posted, I think, like 9 or 10 pictures from some of the bags that you all have made. Amazing. Faux leather. Somebody made one with a Harry Potter fabric. I think I've seen one with Mickey Mouse. Like super funky and cool. Star Wars, I think somebody made one in. Like, these are the perfect little side bag. And because the gusset is kind of thick, you can't fill it. I mean, you can put a bunch of stuff in there. If you want to add more pockets, you can. For me, I kind of just throw everything in there because it's not that big of a bag to warrant that extra effort to add a pocket. But again, that's the Gracie saddle bag. I included a link in the page that I've linked to you below. There's also should be like a lowercase letter I on the top right-hand corner of this video. So if you see that there, click on it, and that will also have the information to take you over to my site with all the info that I'm talking about here. Patricia's asking where to buy your product. So you can buy anything that I sell in my online shop, which is real simple. It's just CraftyGemini.com and then a / and then shop. That's it. And I've included that link too on the page for you. So if you want to get like my rulers or threads or stabilizers, for these little guys, I used my tear away and I used my cut it away. And I actually did use the wash it away. So I used all three. On the top, when you're stitching through the fuzzier fabrics, it's good to have a wash away stabilizer on top so that you kind of, so that the fluff or the nap of the fabric doesn't pop through all the dense stitching. So instead it kind of suppresses that fabric down and allows the stitches to sit on top nicely. Okay? Okay, Pat says she has the Singer Futura 400 and she's not able to open the downloads. She's not computer savvy, but she likes to embroider. So you just have to check like what format the machine takes. But you know, some machines are a little bit tricky. I have a machine that has, like if I'm putting files into the machine, like I'm moving them over to a folder, it has to be in a specifically labeled folder. On these two, on the Brother and the Baby Lock machine, I can just drag it into the jump drive straight away. But on my Elna, it needs to be in a specific type of folder. So I would say check out the user manual or maybe do an online search in some online embroidery forums. Maybe on some Facebook groups you can ask too, like, hey, does anybody have the same machine? How can I do this? And that way somebody can better help you that has that specific make and model. Letitia says she needs to get the 5-inch slicer. Girl, that little ruler is super fun. It's in my online shop, CraftyGemini.com/shop. You can check it out there. Oh, Julia, thank you, from Italia. She says, I look even more beautiful than ever. Girl, please. I look a mess. Today was kind of a rough day. My husband coaches my son's youth basketball league game, and they lost by 1 point. I was like grabbing people, like freaking out. And then one of the dads was like, hey, just remember, this is youth basketball. And I'm like, listen, I get too emotional. I get too into this game. And I was like, ah! And the kid shot a 3 at the end, and it bounced off the rim with 1 second to go. Whew, I was like, these kids are going to give me a heart attack. It was rough. They played good D, but they lost by 1 point. It was rough. Janice is asking for the pattern for the bunny. Janice, the link is in the description box. The same description box right under the video. I started it off with 2 asterisks. So just look under the video If you're on a mobile device, you may not see it. You might have to click on something that looks like a little, like a V, like a little pointing arrow down. And that will basically open that show more box where all the information is. If you get on a computer, then you'll see it. It starts with 2 asterisks and it says click for info on links and sales. And then that's there. But you know what? Now that I'm here close to the computer, here you go, Janice. I'm going to paste it right into the chat. For those of you that are watching the recording, everything is included for you in the description box below, or you can click the letter I on the top right-hand corner, this way, for you guys, of the video as well. Mariah's asking for a room tour. Yes, but not yet. I am in a mad dash to get all this stuff done before we leave. My husband, my kids, and I are actually leaving to Costa Rica for the entire month of March. So yeah, I have a lot to do before I can dare leave for a month. So let's talk, ta-da! The Alley Mini Backpack. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw when I was long arm quilting this panel and then also this. This fabric, a lot of you have asked, and it looks like a denim, but it's actually Essex linen. This is by Robert Kaufman. My friend Laura at her Etsy shop carries it and comes in a variety of colors, and I think this is the denim color. But it's just like a quilting cotton, but it's textured. Look how cute. And so I used actually a gray thread on this fabric, and move these straps. But it just blends in to the point where it just adds texture. But look at that. What? My skills are getting off the chain. Look at this. So that was just like a big chunk of this is the teal, the darker teal from my collection. And I just did swirls and swirls and swirls. And then once you have your fabric quilted, you cut the panels that you need for your projects. Laura's asking if I'm planning any classes in Florida anytime soon. Definitely. So I just, we leased our first commercial space called thesewingcoop.com. Check us out. We have a Facebook page as well, and all that info is included in the link below. And this is my daughter's backpack. It looks super cute on her, but it's also for adults. So let me show you. So the straps are adjustable. This is going to be one of the 5 new bags in my video-based Bag of the Month Club. Those of you that were members of the last club, I think you're really going to love this one. I listened to your feedback. I designed a ton of other different shapes. So there's not really any overlap with the last 5 bags that I taught last year and these ones. I love functional stuff, and I'm really like a backpack messenger bag kind of crossbody kind of girl. Like I have little kids, so I need my hands free. So I think you're going to want to see the projects in this one. And I'm going to be, look at this. How cute! And I could even make the straps even longer if you wanted them to come further down, but you can see that you can adjust it. What I did want to do with this one is design it so that it's wide and chunky enough that I could fit a ton of stuff in there. Okay, look at that. I did make this. Somebody was like, girl, your skills. I was like, you know, it's what happens when you actually slow down your sewing and take your time. I'm like super speedy when it comes to sewing, but you know, when I got to make samples, I got to look legit. Then I can slow down. And I'm a perfectionist by nature, so look at that. The piping though, look, what? And then the little embroidery with my daughter's monogram. This is like fire, for real. 1 zip pocket in there, fully lined. And I did it so that it opens all the way, so the zipper goes all the way back. So if they have any bulky things, I mean, little kids could even use this as a little weekender pajama, kind of going to grandparents' house for the weekend bag. And then on the back part here, it's kind of narrowish, so, you know, the zipper can only be yay big. But at least a little zippered pocket for them to put some other stuff. Julia says that the backpack is to die for. Seriously, I am sweating myself too about this backpack. But this is, who's saying that? Rebecca says this is her favorite personal purse tag. Me too. Listen, if I take my kids somewhere, boom, boom. And I know some of you may be thinking there's no way that I can free motion quilt swirls. You don't have to. This looks just as good if you did straight lines. What makes the side quilting really pop is the fact that it's a solid fabric. And the thread is a darker blue. So it's really creating the texture and allowing you to see all those swirls in there. But if I did in the same thread and the same fabric, kind of those hash line diagonals, it would look just as good because it would totally pop. And I don't know why I put my daughter's initials on this. It is named after her, but I want to snatch it. These are not my initials. But I was like, can I show it to my camera friends today? And she's like, yes, but give it back. Look how cute. And a little hanging loop. Okay, if y'all have kids, tweens, teens, whatever, Can you imagine in school, like, hanging this up, like, excuse me, yes, handmade, holler at that. And there's plenty of space in there to throw stuff up. Okay? So this is just one of them. I can't show y'all the rest of the bags yet because I'm kind of rolling them out little by little. And I will tell you, though, there's, like, one that's a multi-purpose. You can wear it 2 different ways. There is a messenger bag with a standalone laptop compartment that could totally be like a unisex bag. Depending on the colors of the fabrics that you chose and how you quilted it, you could totally make it for a guy. And there's some other ones, you know? They are super good. I'm super proud, and I think you're going to love it. So be on the lookout. Today, actually, late last night, I posted a video, and I showed you how to make these continuous straps. If you've ever wanted to make a long continuous strap, now notice, I kept it simpler in the Gracie saddle bag here. These are just like a regular strap because, again, the bag is not that big, so there's not that much that you can stuff in there. But when you're working with a bigger crossbody bag or a backpack where you're going to be carrying significant weight, you definitely want to have some comfy straps, you know, and I don't like to use that. I don't even have it here. That kind of polyester webbing stuff that you can get really cheap that you see in like store-bought backpacks. Why not make it to match? I mean, if you're going to go on the mission of making your own backpack, you might as well make the coordinating straps to go with it. So making a super long strap is like a hassle. So I came up with a technique several years ago on how to do it, and I use my foam scraps. So when you have like just random chunks of your foam stabilizer, watch my tutorial. That is also linked below, and you can also just do a search on my YouTube channel. Whenever you guys are looking for any tutorials that I may have that you remember seeing, or you're looking to see if I have a video on it, all you need to do is go to youtube.com and type in Crafty Gemini, and then whatever words you're looking for. So Crafty Gemini fabric strap. If you type that in, this video is going to pop up, okay? Carla Lisa was asking how many bags. So 5 bags, the same as last year. So they're going to be, we do 5 bags for, and 5 months. So every month for 5 months, I teach you 1 new bag. The bags go up on the first of the month. And by bags is the downloadable PDF pattern that you can download. I also do some written supplemental instructions, but really the main way for you to complete these bags is with my step-by-step, like super step-by-step, video lessons. And most of the bags from last year had 2 hours, if not more, worth of class time and footage to walk you through every single step, the zipper, the piping, how to finish. Did you guys see this? All those interior seams fully bound. Yes, I walk you through all that, okay? Jay Hamilton wants to know when we will be able to sign up for the next 5 bags. So I will tell you that it's going to be sometime next week. So be on the lookout. I'm putting out a few other tutorials where I kind of sneak peek you the other bags. So be on the lookout for that. In this one where I showed you how to make the continuous strapping, the video that just went up to last night, I showed you the backpack. So that was kind of like, the backpack is coming. Yes, a backpack. And then I always do an early bird sale price first, and that is limited time. So if you follow me on social media, or you can sign up to get my emails using the link, everything is included for you on that page. Everything, you know, you can get all the information and you won't miss out on it then. The actual launch date of the club is March 1. So if you've gotten to March 1 and you see that you never saw the early bird or nothing, then you missed it. Because I do the early bird before it actually goes live. The first bag itself, which is not the backpack, but one of the other bags, goes up March 1st. And also, for those of you that know about my clubs, we are also selling kits. We pre-sell kits for the handbags. And so because we're going to be out of the country for March, we're going to be pre-selling the bag kits for March and April. Okay? So those of you that love to get your hands on the kits, you know they go super quick. I mean, I sell out of 300 and 400 super quickly. We don't have that many to go around this time, so be on the lookout for an email for that. And follow me on Facebook, too, so you can be in the know-how. Hi, Sarah. She says, greetings from Egypt. Awesome. All right. So, yeah. Oh, and so my classes, remember, you get step-by-step video lessons, and it never expires. So I personally know, I'm always like, there's so much content on the internet that really, like, what am I going to do to kind of separate myself as a business that people will want to make my stuff? Well, because I do video, it's super step-by-step, and because I'm in control of the online classes, you never lose access to it. So if you jump on the early bird sale price and you get in, if you don't have time to do it until 2018, it's no big deal. You just log back into my website, into your account because you made the purchase there, and you have access to everything. So if 2 months from now you want to make another bag, if a year from now, you never lose access to it. So the value is ridiculous for the price that you pay. All right. De nada, Mirta. She says gracias. My Latina friends. Oh, Rhonda was asking about the kits. Yeah, Rhonda, we're pre-selling those kits. So when I announce, I think probably when I announce the early bird whatever pricing, we'll do right there the pre-sale for those kits. Because remember, we're leaving March 1st, so we gotta get all this, ship everything out and everything. Because after March 1, holler at me from Costa Rica. But I'm gonna be on social media, probably doing some live videos. My kids are doing a Spanish immersion program at a little rural school. I'm super excited to take a break, but not really a break because, I'm taking my sewing machine, taking some projects. I got to make some samples. But it's definitely a good break. Oh my gosh, Tara from Indonesia. Hello, from the other side of the world. Ethel is asking about my new fabric. My new fabric collection comes out in May. That's going to be my second collection. And when I get more details and I'm able to share more with you and everything, and I get the actual sample yardage in my hands, I shall share that info with you. Let me see if my husband is giving me the stank eye. We're supposed to be all going out to dinner, and I was like, I'm going to try to be done by 5. I talk too much. Have you guys, speaking of which, like, I'm looking at myself now, and the way I'm talking, I'm like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of my bloopers. Have you guys been watching my bloopers at the end of my videos? At first, I was like a little bit, shy about posting my crazy little bloopers, but now I'm just like, whatever. They get to see how I really am. Miss Sheila, congratulations. She says she's retiring in May, girl. And she says, I'll be able to catch up on all the bags and projects. Yes, you will. Hope you'll come visit me in Florida. Oh, Tina Sherwood says she'd love to come to my classes. So while I'm in Costa Rica in March, I'm going to be working on the schedule for the sewing coop. That's for those of you that live in Florida. And the classes, I'm going to start offering classes in April. And then over the summer, I'll have a better feel for kind of like what weekend classes I can do, full day classes. Because I want to teach. I mean, video lessons is legit. You can learn with my step-by-step instructions. But being in person, it's a little bit different, Because I'm like right there and I help people with every single little step of the way. And I know that people really appreciate that. And I think it's worth it, especially if you live closer and the expense is not that much for you. Oh, Donna says she loves the bloopers. I always have my husband review them before I post the video. I'm like, is this too much? I'm seriously like ridiculous. It's just like me and a camera talking to myself. The last one I was just like, I kept messing up and I'm like, it's not that hard. So the sewing coop, and I'm going to start teaching classes in April, and then I'll kind of get a good feel for who. I have like 600 some people, I think, on the list who want to find out about the classes. So I'm sure the popular classes will sell out super quick, but it'll be fun. I'm doing kids classes, homeschool kids classes, because we homeschool and it's hard to find stuff to do during the day with your kids because all the other kids are in school, so all the activities are like after school or on the weekends. So that's something else I'm going to do for my little homeschool co-ops, is offer classes. Some of the moms have reached out about doing like Girl Scout workshops and a ton of different groups. The one sewing shop that we had in town, they actually just closed like 2 weeks ago. So like my thing is going to be the only one really right now. All right. So let me see. Did I chat? This, the bag. Stay tuned for more info on the Bag of the Month Club for sure. The 5 bags are fire. What else? I think that's it for now. I'm going to leave this guy here. I don't want to turn it off, but I still have to finish putting him together. So yeah, check the link in the description box below. Also the little lowercase letter I. And to see it, if you hover with your mouse over the video screen, you'll see a little circle with a lowercase letter I for like more info. And it pops up on the top right-hand corner of the video screen. And click on that. You'll see the info there. You can click on it. Hey, Jade. She says she's homeschooled. Awesome. We got kids watching. And that page has all the information on the designs to get from Anne over at A Creative Medley. She has a crazy sale, and I think she says she only does a couple sales a year. So again, if you know you're a beginner in embroidery or you're thinking of buying an embroidery machine, snag it at the ridiculous price so that you'll have them. Remember, they're digital files. They don't go bad. They don't go bad. So save them, and then once I decide with Anne and see what I'm going to do, whether I do a tutorial for it or I do an online course and kind of really go super, super in-depth step by step, I will, of course, post and let you guys know. And then Anita's asking for more purse tutorials. So my Bag of the Month Club is really what I try to do as like the purse tutorials, because this is hours and hours of footage. The video for the free one that I just did, if you haven't made the Gracie bag, check it out. This is a pretty simple bag, but it still had to be broken up into 2 videos, and they're like 30-some minutes each. So this is like an hour. I mean, this is longer than some of the online courses that you pay a lot of money for out there. Because I really like to take my time and be super thorough with the instruction, because I want people to, like, if you're cutting into that fabric and that super expensive foam stabilizer, I want you to at least be able to make it. Something that you can wear versus, you know, you're halfway through a project, you've used the materials, you've cut it, and the project is ruined. So I really, that's like my thing. I like people to be able to complete my projects. So definitely check that out. And I think that's it. We're just going to do the sneak peek of the one bag for now. Be on the lookout, because either tomorrow's what? Today's Saturday. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'm probably going to post another tutorial and you'll see another sneak peek. Now, if you watch the video for the fabric straps, there was a little snuck in sneak peek of a wristlet. A purse that's part of the Bag of the Month Club, but you can wear it 2 ways, as a wristlet and as a fanny pack. Super cool. It's really fun, and it has like 3 zippers, a ton of compartments. You can put a ton of stuff in it, and you can rock it on your wrist or as a fanny pack with a crossbody strap, whatever you want to do. So be on the lookout for that, and get excited, because there's fun stuff coming. All right, thanks again, everybody. They haven't come to get me yet. But I will see you all in the next video. And if you're watching the recording, go ahead and leave me a comment below. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that I posted. And if you're trying to get the embroidery designs for these, don't sleep on it, because it expires tomorrow. All right? I will see you all later. Bye.